August the 20th, 2024. Guys, you're looking at this article today from Breitbart, and it says the Cook County State's Attorney preemptively announced that the DNC protesters will not be prosecuted. Excuse me. And you got an image here with when they broke down the gates yesterday. And guys, it's so much like J6, except this would be what called 8 or A20, August the 20th. Except right now there will be no matter what you tear down or what you do, you will not be prosecuted. Now, that sounds pretty common in the Democratic way of thinking, right? And so it makes me think, and guys, I'd like to hear your comment here, that we know the DNC convention is pretty much a big hoax. I hope you do. If you don't, I feel sorry for you. That's all I can say. Everything in it's fake, including the people that are supposed to be nominated. There's nothing real about it. If you've seen the people that were in there, I didn't watch it. I saw some of the headlines of the last 2 or 3 different administrations in there, and it was pitiful. It was pitiful. There was no energy, and by the time they had let Biden on, it was almost midnight, or may have been midnight, and the thing had almost cleared out, and it was pretty bad. That was just the headlines. I would no way could watch. You guys, I don't advise you to watch it because it will be nauseating looking at the array of people they have got standing up there. It's like every Karen in the world. Just saying. But why are they doing this? Why are they putting up all the barricades, which are easily taken down and thrown back up? And who knows who's paying these guys besides George Soros? We don't know, but we know that's a lot of these attorneys and prosecutors throughout the country in the blue states are put there just for this reason. So the DNC convention may not be about electing anyone at all. It may be about bringing in martial law. In other words, they're encouraging everyone. We talked about yesterday, almost at that point, 160 different organizations protesting. And you can't name them all, from countries all around the world. And they're very conveniently, a lot of people from all around the world have come across the borders. This is not about electing anybody. It's about another J6. And again, it will be, I guess, an A20. This is to bring in martial law, and it's to stop the elections from going forward because they know it's a catastrophe. That's exactly what they're doing. We're going to read some of this, but guys, let me say this. I'm working on a thing about the cherubim, and I would have had it up to date, except as I was digging a little deeper this afternoon, of course, it always happens that I found another trail to go down to try to link this in, and it's very important, and I want to tie it in properly. But again, it's probably not what you think. I saw 4 or 5 comments in the video last night that showed that a lot of people are on top of it, but many people are following the mainstream narrative about an angel or something like that, and that's in a way it's correct, but it's not what you think. But it's going back beyond the book of Ezekiel. It's going back into the Sumerian text on what they saw that matches exactly what they're talking about as far as the cherubs and the cherubim. But that's for another video, and possibly by tomorrow afternoon, I've got a few doctor's appointments. I can get in there and put the finishing touches on the cherubim and Ezekiel 8, 9, and 10. But right now, this is very important, so I don't mind pausing that because I'm still looking into the research on it. But this needs to be talked about because this is right here and right now. Now, the cherubim issue is going to go back to where it says in the Bible, men's hearts will fail them when they see what's coming upon this earth. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's important, but this is happening now. It continues. It says the Soros-backed Cook County State Attorney Kim Foxx preemptively announced that she will not prosecute protesters who were peaceful at the Democratic National Convention. Now, that's just an invite. That's all it is. They're not going to prosecute anybody unless you are a Republican and try to take a Palestinian flag down or an Antifa flag down or something like that. But it's an invite for chaos on purpose. The sudden turn toward leniency runs against what she claimed in April. And it says, despite the attention to peaceful protesters, Fox also announced ahead of time that she will not prosecute anyone arrested for misdemeanors such as disorderly conduct, public demonstrations, unlawful gatherings, criminal trespass to state-supported land, and even curfew charges. And people are wondering why all the main stores in Chicago have boarded up this week. The policy is not new, though. The prosecutor, who was given $408,000 in a donation from a George Soros PAC in 2016, has maintained this policy at least since the riots in 2020 and has released hundreds of protesters over the years, even those who perpetrated property damage. And it's the crime capital of the world. That's why the DNC flocks there, the demons inside their stronghold. And they're going to use this stronghold and the events there to try to stop the election, to bring about enough chaos to where they're saying, oh my God, these rednecks in the backwoods and the MAGA people are trying to tear down the convention. There was reports that came in from Chicago today that there was a bomb call came in about hotels, I think 4 hotels that surround that area. And so there's already that tension in the air, right? But it's a made-up tension, I think, because if you think of the successful bombs, and I don't call them successful because they all cause people's lives, I mean the ones that occurred, and then we found out about it, or it was during a parade and we found out about it, were not pre-announced. You know, I think the police are kind of caught between a rock and a hard spot because the city it's downtown is pretty nice, guys, if you look at it. You got the United Center there and then the lakefront area, and all. It's pretty nice. You get out in some of the other areas, you know, it's the largest crime capital, I think, in our nation. Now, I think the police there have their hands tied quite a bit because they're saying that the top cop, Superintendent Larry Snelling, even noted that the department is authorized to conduct mass arrests of things that get out of hand. But he's saying that that is the last resort. But we know the realities of these types of situations, especially when the number of people we're expecting, or you could scratch it out and say inviting, to converge upon Chicago is inevitable. That there is a possibility for vandalism, there's a possibility for violence, and we are prepared to deal with that. What will they do? It says, despite this bravado, it appears that the Chicago Police Department and the city will find little support down the line when the state's attorney's office finally gets involved in cases against the protesters. We saw it with the BLM protesters and everything else. But this is a big deal. They know they've lied on the polls, like I said, and that's coming out if you check out some of the local news today. They're even saying, uh-oh, wait a minute, we may be wrong. The Democrats are losing in a landslide. Now this is their only chance. You've got to create the chaos to bring in the military or the martial law and stop all elections until whoever's in charge at that point. And that's a scary thought. If you think about who that may be, that will be in effect until they decide that the emergency's over, which a year or 50 years. Be aware of what I'm talking about. Again, working on that other video, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.